Yo, it's been a minute. I haven't made a video on fantasy football in a while, but I'm really excited about this season. So I just want to put it out there. I'm not a fantasy football expert. I'm a fan that really enjoys fantasy football. I like fantasy football more than I like actual football, but because I like fantasy football so much, I pay attention to football. So obviously the video today is about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I just found out that it's pronounced Helaire as opposed to Hilaire, so the H is silent. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a consensus top 10 pick in regards to ADP, average draft position. I'm not going to use a lot of industry terms because I'm not a fantasy football expert. Like I said, I'm just going to use things that I remember, whatever. But for him, he was a top 10 pick. And he went from being, maybe mid-second round to going in the first round because he's a running back and he was on the Kansas City Chiefs. And for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're probably the best offense in the league. And anyone that's coming out of the backfield with them, they go crazy. Think of Kareem Hunt, Damian Williams. There's a lot of people that once they play with Patrick Mahomes, the value is automatically higher than they normally would. Like, I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the most valuable or the best back coming out of the 2019 draft, or I should say 2020 draft. But I think in this situation, he's the best back. He's the best rookie back. And off of week one, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be a top 3 back for the rest of the season. The reason why I'm saying this in regards to top 3, which is lofty, by the way, because we have Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Zeke, all these guys. I think in this offense, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's going to shine and go crazy because he is a small, short, stocky back, and he's more explosive than fast. So that's what the Kansas City Chiefs offense is. Explosive players. So for him, getting through the tackles, basically taking advantage of Patrick Mahomes being next to him, where the defenses, they're a bit more wary of Tyreek Hill right now. And of course, you have Travis Kelce. And Patrick Mahomes, he can go over the top at any time with DeMarcus Robinson or Sammy Watkins. So with Clyde Edwards-Helaire on a draw play or just a simple run up the middle, they're worried and they're looking in the backfield a little bit, but they can't look too much because you're watching Tyreek Hill. Sometimes they just bail out. With that and his performance today, I think he's going to be unstoppable. The problem here is, right? And the only issue I see here with Helaire is that he's not a goal line back, or rather the plays they were running in the goal line was just straight halfback dives. And I'm just like, why are you just running up the middle with this guy? I know in the middle of the field, it makes sense because you have so much movement, so many weapons that you can utilize. On the goal line, it's a lot more condensed. It's power game. That's not his game, right? You have to, split him out, maybe a draw play, maybe a toss play. They just kept running up the middle. And I swear he had like 5 goal line runs and he didn't convert any of them. He had 25 carries for 138 yards and a touch. But I think his touchdown, that came from further out, like 26-yard touchdown, something like that. Imagine if he had gotten into the end zone those 2 other times. They were in the red zone. That's over 100 yards, over 25 carries, and 3 touchdowns on your first game. In your first game. That is RB1. Not only RB1, top 3, top 4 running back numbers. That's Christian McCaffrey. That's Saquon. That's Zeke. That's Kamara. For me personally, I wanted to draft him early, right? I wanted to draft him in the first round because I like the offense. I like his game. I went down the rabbit hole of watching like a bunch of tape on the running backs that were drafted in the first round. I don't think he's the best running back, like I said. I think the best running back for me that in regards to skill was DeAndre Swift. That's the running back I like the most. But I think for him, in this situation, he's the best running back. But again, back to Helaire, he's going to dominate this year, man. He's going to dominate this year. He looked really good in this offense. I was watching and I'm just like, holy crap. This kid could have been a top 3 pick. And next year, he will be a top 3 pick. No question. Maybe not top 3, top 5. Definitely. It depends on what happens with Kamara, because if he gets injured again this year, he's definitely sliding. He slid this year. In one of my drafts, he went like 11th. And that's a, two quarterback draft, but he went like 11th. It's because of the injuries and also the contract situation. For Saquon and McCaffrey, they should be secure at the top 2. I don't know, man. If Helaire does better than him this year and he still has Patrick Mahomes, Daniel Jones has to show out because Saquon is obviously more talented. If Saquon was with the Chiefs, Saquon is running for over 200 yards every game. Maybe not every game, but Saquon is the most talented back in the league, in my opinion. But anyway, about Helaire and about this game overall, I think Helaire is going to be a top 3 back going forward. If you have him, hold on to him. Don't give him up for anybody. If the McCaffrey owner, right? Okay, so in this instance, right? Because I'm a trading guy. I like to trade. McCaffrey doesn't have a great game because Teddy Bridgewater, he's average. McCaffrey has an all right game. McCaffrey's going to go off, right? No matter what, I think McCaffrey's going to go off. I think you could definitely, based on what Helaire showed, you could definitely get McCaffrey straight up for Helaire if McCaffrey has a bad game in week 1. You definitely could, just based off what he showed here. I wouldn't trade McCaffrey, right? But I know some people, sometimes off of week 1, maybe week 2, 2 back-to-back bad games, and Helaire has back-to-back great games, they're like, yo, that might be the tech. That might be the move. I would not trade Helaire. I would hold on to him. He's young. He's a rookie. Something else that also factors into him being dominant is the fact that he owns his backfield. In his first game, he had 25 carries. Darrell Williams, the backup, he had 7 carries. I think it's pretty clear whose backfield this is. So more upside for Helaire is that he didn't have any catches. He had 2 targets, no catches. At LSU, when he was, coming out the backfield, that was one of his strengths. He is a great pass catcher. He didn't have any catches. If they start putting him in a slot or, a lot more catches out of the backfield, the ceiling is insane. Man, if you have Helaire, I'm sure you're happy. I'm kind of sick because I didn't want to draft him over any of my running backs because I went top 3 in most of my drafts. And I got Saquon or McCaffrey, right? I can't justify drafting him over them yet. I have to see the running back splits because in camp, they were saying him and Darrell Williams, they were splitting carries. Now it's clear. It's his backfield. I would say also if you have Helaire, go pick up Darrell Williams. If anything happens, Darrell Williams is still a top 15 back, top 15, top 20 back because he's with the Chiefs. He's going to get goal line carries. He's pretty good at the goal line. Better than Helaire. That may be something that may factor in the future where they put Darrell Williams at the goal line and then Helaire, in between the numbers. But we'll see. I really enjoyed this game. This is the first game I've watched the entire game in a long time. Quickly for the other players, Sammy Watkins, he does this every year, right? He does it every year. If you have an offer, if you have Sammy Watkins, trade him. Trade him for the best offer right now. The Mike Evans owner is probably worried because Mike Evans is hurt. He's already falling out of favor with people because Chris Godwin is more the player that Brady likes. So Mike Evans owners, they kind of drafted him on all right, he's Mike Evans. He fell to me, so I'm just going to take him. Maybe they panic and they give you Mike Evans because he's hurt as well for Sammy Watkins because Sammy Watkins does this every year for like the first 3 games, goes crazy, then he's injured or silent the majority of the year. Cole Hardman, you can drop. He needs an injury to kind of show out. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, you don't worry about them. They're just going to do their thing. Tyreek Hill is the most explosive player in the league. Like, he's going to get his numbers. Travis Kelce, 6 for 50 and a touch. I mean, that's Travis Kelce. But obviously the story of this game is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. In regards to the Texans, though, they're shaky. Deshaun Watson looks worried out there, right? He has nobody to throw to. Will Fuller, he's another one. If the owner of Mike Evans is worried, trade Will Fuller. He's going to get hurt. It happens every year. And he had wide receiver 1 value this game, but a lot of it was in garbage time. Deshaun Watson does not look comfortable, looks out of place. David Johnson looked good. Right? He looked good, didn't look great, looked good. Had a great run, though, for the touchdown. But I'm still skeptical. Even during the game, they had to look at his arm, his wrist, and I'm like, oh, man, here we go. Said he was fine, but remember David Johnson had wrist surgery a couple years ago, so I'm just like, I don't know. If you have David Johnson personally, I would try to trade him, like based on, because I trade. I like to trade. If one of the top running backs who you value, personally you value over David Johnson, I would try to trade him. He has a good game here, but the Texans offense, it looks weird. And his injury history, I don't like it. If David Johnson was like your flex, hold on to him. Like, he's definitely worth a flex. But if he's like your running back 2 and you can trade him for like Derrick Henry if he has a bad game or Joe Mixon if he has a bad game. Of course, a lot of people, they don't trade early because of draft capital. They want to hold on to their players. They don't want to feel like they got or they made a mistake. But I don't know, man. I like to trade. So for him, he had a good game here. I'd try to get rid of him. But no, the Texans, they need help. Will Fuller, he's the only one that was out there really doing anything. Brandon Cooks, I don't know. He didn't play that many snaps. He was hurt coming in, so I guess that was expected. But overall, good game. Can't wait for Sunday. I'm really excited again. So again, I'm not a fantasy football expert. I'm somebody that's willing to share my thoughts with the internet and just tell you how I feel about things and make stories about certain things that's happening in the NFL. We'll be talking about the NBA as well. Not sure how frequently, but we'll see what happens. But guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.